Bonjour and hello to each and every one of you. In today's video, I wanted to show you my go-to cucumber salad that I love to make during the summertime. And this is the cucumber salad that I grew up eating. My uncle and my auntie would make it for us whenever we crave it. The cucumber is dressed in a very delicious, sweet, salty, sour, and spicy peanut butter sauce. So if you like peanut butters and cucumbers together, do give this recipe a try because it is actually very mouth-wateringly delicious. It's super easy to make, so let's go ahead and I'll show you how to make it. Let's go. So the first thing I want to do is to make the dressing. So I'm going to be using a mortar and pestle to make it. So in here, I'm going to add in 1 tiny clove of garlic. The smaller the better, just because garlic is pretty pungent. I'm also going to be using 1 bird's eye chili pepper. This is the dried version. You could definitely use a fresh if you want. Add however much you like depending on how spicy you want this salad. I have some salt and MSG. And in here I have some raw sugar. I'm using turbinado sugar. You can use whatever sugar of your choice, but I prefer using this one. It just has a better flavor to it. And then pound this with the pestle. The sugar and the salt and MSG will help break down the garlic and pepper. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of roasted peanuts. Pound this a little bit. I do like the dressing to be a little bit chunky. Add in some fresh lime juice, some fish sauce, and I'm also going to be adding some creamy peanut butter. And then just give this a gentle stir with your pestle until the peanut butter is nice and incorporated. And it should look something like this. This is also great as a dip, so if you don't want to mix it into the cucumbers, you can just dip the cucumbers right in. Other than that, the dressing is done. Let's go ahead and set this aside while we take care of the cucumbers. So the cucumbers I like to use for this salad in particular is Persian cucumbers. I do like the texture of Persian cucumbers. They have smaller seeds as well, and the skin is a lot thinner. You can also use English cucumbers as well. It's really up to you, but if you have a kind of cucumber that you like to use, feel free to use it for your preference. For the recipe, I'm using roughly around 14 to 16 ounce of cucumbers. So this English cucumber was just perfectly enough for what I needed. If you're going to use Persian cucumbers, it's roughly around 4 to 5 Persian cucumbers to make it work for this recipe. So there's 3 different ways I like to cut and prep the cucumbers. I'll show you all of them so you can choose and pick which one you like. So for the English cucumber one, I do like to cut this in half to make it a lot easier to work with. And we're basically going to shred the cucumber, but I'm going to be shredding it with a knife instead of a shredder. And to do this, you're basically just going to cut it and keep turning the cucumber and cut it like this. And be very careful not to cut your hands. If you don't want to do it this way, by all means, use a shredder. It'll be a lot easier for you. But I like to do it this way because I do enjoy the different textures that we get. Take your knife and cut it into thin strips like this. It should look something like this. This is how my sister likes to prep and cut the cucumbers. The second version is how my auntie likes to do it. She'll take a really sharp peeler and just start peeling it from the top to the bottom here. And you should get what they call cucumber ribbons, and it looks something like this. It's fairly thin. I like to use this method on Persian cucumbers because they are a lot smaller. The only downside to this method is that once you get to the very end, it does get a lot harder to peel. So I just put it on the cutting board to finish it. If I can't finish it, I'll just use a knife to cut it into strips. This is probably not my favorite method just because since the cucumbers are so thin, they do get really watery as you put the dressing in and as it sits. So you have to eat this version right away. The third way is to smash the cucumbers. So with a Persian cucumber, let's go ahead and cut the ends. And then with your knife, face it flat up like this, and then just pound it with your hands. and it should look something like this. Once you reach this point, go ahead and just cut it into bite-sized pieces. This is probably my favorite method because the cucumbers holds the dressing really well. The crevices in the cucumbers just holds up the peanuts as well, and it's just texturally a lot better. But you can slice the cucumber however you like. These are the 3 methods that I just wanted to show you. So once you have all your cucumbers prepped, I am going to add in some cherry tomatoes. You can cut it into quarters, into halves, however you like, and add as much as you want. It's really up to you. And then we're going to go straight in with the peanut dressing that we made. Give this a really good toss. Try it for seasoning, and then we are ready to serve. It should look something like this. So I highly recommend eating this right away. As it sits, it will get really watery and you'll lose the texture and the crunch. So enjoy it while it's still fresh and super crunchy. Other than that, this is it for today's video. I hope you can give this one a try. It's truly a delicious one to make on a hot summer day. Until then, I will see you in my next video.